Why should men never argue with women? What do you mean? Because men argue with logic, women argue with feelings, and when feelings become the judge, logic will always lose. When you argue with a woman, you're not fighting for truth anymore, you're fighting her emotions. That's why she'll shift the goalpost, bring up something from 6 months ago, say you just don't get it, even when you're right, because the fight isn't about truth, it's about how she feels. She doesn't need to win logically, she only needs to win emotionally. So she just ignores logic? Not on purpose, it's design. Her main hormone, estrogen, makes her focus on feelings first. Her brain isn't breaking your points line by line, it's asking, do I feel safe? Do I feel loved? Do I feel attacked? If your truth feels like an attack, she rejects it. Not because it's false, but because it hurts. So what happens if I keep trying to explain? That's the mistake most men make. The longer you argue, the more threatened she feels, and the more threatened she feels, the less rational she becomes. It's a loop. The harder you push, the more chaos you create. That's why in so many marriages, women complain, my husband is so dismissive, he never communicates. The truth? He did try, but every time, she turned it into an emotional storm. So now he stays quiet, not because he doesn't care, but because he chose peace over endless war. Arguing with her emotions doesn't make you strong, it makes you surrender. So how does a man handle it? He doesn't try to out-argue, he leads. You state the truth once, calm, clear, without anger. If she can hear it, she will. If not, nothing you say will change her. Trying to win an argument with a woman is like trying to fix a tornado with a calculator. The more you explain, the more chaos you create. But if I don't argue, won't she think she's right? That's another trap. Men think, if I can just make her agree, things will be okay again. But women don't argue for agreement. They argue to release emotions, to feel understood, to test your stability. That's why you can prove her wrong, and she'll only get angrier. You didn't solve it. You triggered her insecurity. And now, it's not about the issue anymore. It's about you, her feelings, and everything you've ever done wrong. That's not communication. That's emotional warfare. So if arguing is useless, what makes a man strong? Not needing to be right. A woman doesn't respect the man who explains and begs. She respects the man who stays calm, grounded, and unshaken. The man who can let her storm pass while he remains the mountain. The moment you start defending yourself, you've already lost frame as a man. So what are women and men tested with? Women are tested with their emotions, men are tested with their desires. Estrogen pulls her into feelings, safety, love, fear. Testosterone pulls him into lust, anger, and chasing more. Her battle is to master her emotions, his battle is to master his lust. These aren't curses, they're tests from God, and only the woman who controls her emotions, and only the man who controls his desires, are worthy of loyalty, leadership, and lasting respect.